can love and wild me, laugh and drink and say there was something, but you say there was nothing, but you say it with a smile. Whoa.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. I'm your host, Coach B, and I'm here with my co-host and best buddy, Dr. Dry.
In the house. What's up, Coach V?
Oh, just being 2-0 in fantasy. No big.
Wow. That's quacktastic.
And we
Well,
don't
that's
have any
awesome.
football tonight, so we're gonna really go off the rails because when the old man is gone, the young boys will play.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, but wait. You guys, please keep it down tonight. We got Meemaw here.
Damn it! No one told us Meemaw was coming.
Yeah. Stay 6 feet when they're at the Giant Eagle.
Hey, don't give
Before I
away our
fall down
secret.
and scuff
Right?
my muff.
So, are you feeling good this week?
Feeling good. I think it was a 3-3 week. It was looking like it was going to be a 4-2, but who was it? Soft ass Chris Olave couldn't get me the 5 points I needed. He only got like 4 or 3 or something.
Mm.
So anyway, he'll be on a certain list later. I think we all know what that is.
Okay. See, we've done a lot so far. We have foreshadowed a possible commercial for later, and we've also foreshadowed a list. So stay tuned, all zero of you, to.
Rough crowd tonight.
I think Meemaw scared them all off. They had like flashbacks to their childhood and like in grandma's bedroom or something, porcelain doll. They were like, I gotta get out
That's my childhood. Yeah, we
That's not
yeah, usually we have like 2 people in here by now. I don't know what's going on tonight.
maybe
Oh
another
well.
debate.
Yeah, there's probably another debate or I don't know. I know one of our audience members is prepping for some sort of hurricane. So hopefully he's okay cuz we don't want to go down to 43 subscribers. So,
Yeah, that would be bad.
yeah.
So, well, the week that was is week 5 in fantasy football. There was um there was some exciting games with like the Ravens and Bengals. Well, don't forget about Thursday night too.
Oh,
Those were both made for fantasy football
yeah.
games.
Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah, and I hate that I've become such an old man and like even in the most exciting games I'm falling asleep. I'm like dozing off and there's so much going on there and it's like what we wait for. But I know the Steelers Cowboys game not so good at prime time and it was delayed and I'm on Eastern time zone. So it didn't even start till like 10 something. So
Oh,
anyway, that was really rough.
it's tough getting older, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you hype yourself up for it and then yeah, it's just too much, man. I need to be on Central Time, I think. But yeah, it was an exciting week. You had some teams go off. I still can't buy a win in the cheese. That one I am 0-5. That team's cursed. It was ever since I made that horrible trade with Superfan Matt, who's not here tonight. um He's usually the only person viewing, but yeah, I think I can break the curse this week. I think I have to beat him. So this week I play him. I think if I beat him, the curse is over, and then maybe we can get back to winning because it's probably the best 0-5 team you'll ever see.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna need to make a hell of a run to get into the playoffs. Oh, and
Yeah,
five. That's a big hole.
yeah. Wish I had my own first round pick. At least it would have like paid off with Aston Genty or something. But
You got nothing.
yeah, I got nothing.
So,
Well, I have a first, but it's not mine. It's a good team's first. So.
oh, I got you.
Yeah, I mean they're old. I don't like their team, but
So we need to hand out some awards, some well-deserved awards that we need to get out. These people earn these awards with their behavior and their actions. and
Exactly.
they got what's coming to them in these awards. Also, we have a brand new award to debut. That yeah, it just kind of happened, right?
Yeah, and we can do that one first actually.
Oh,
Well, no, let's do it last so that we at least have a viewer. It's not popping right now in the comment section. So yeah, I guess let's start with these guys. They S the C, they S the B. So we have the sleep number, shit the bed award. For those players that really shit the bed, you are either extremely disappointed in them to the point where they're no longer starting and you're benching them, or you're just flat out cutting them. Obviously, as we know, this is led by our Lord and Savior Arthur Smith in the bottom right hand corner, the king of Sing the B. And then we have Amber Turd right above him, who has literally shit the bed. Um, like on public record,
oh, did
and
she really? Is that why she's
yeah,
always?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
She
know
pooped.
that.
She pooped in what's his name? Johnny Depp's bed,
Like on
and
purpose.
yeah, I think so. Out of spite, it was like an anger shit, and she just like swung over the pillow and like yeah, so yeah, that's like for real. That was the whole Johnny Depp trial that everyone was watching. That's the only thing I gathered from it is he pooped on the bed.
I didn't know this was part of that.
Yeah, yeah, it's real.
Okay, I'm looking this up later.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Because who was it? Someone reacted to it that didn't know the whole story. I think it was Peepaw, and he was like, "Yeah, her and Johnny Depp like to sit in the bed," and it's like, no, I think Johnny was just like encountered it. Like I don't think he's like Johnny Doo Doo Man or anything. Like I think he just was a victim here, and it kind of
was
touched his
he
arm or something.
was so he was in the bed and she did that?
I think I don't know. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but like Megan could tell you the whole story. She's a huge fan of the trial, so it was so public though. Like in it, but yeah, I need to listen to that part because that part's entertaining. But yeah, Amber Heard became Amber Turd once that came out. And you see, I got a couple of phrases from a couple of our younger friends
Hey,
when talking about the landfill, but really they were talking about that sleep number bed that was probably in the landfill.
dang.
Shout out to baby cakes and dippers.
That's a real throwback.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. um so yeah, week 5, we have some guys here and you're kind of a purist. You like to put one on each and I like to kind of put a whole bunch on here. So yeah, we don't have an entry from Peepaw. Where is Peepaw, by the way?
Peepaw is in like New England or something, looking at
Oh,
moons.
okay. Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna like tell people he died, and then 2 weeks later he was just gonna
Oh,
show up.
sorry, I revealed his true location.
Yeah, he's on vacation. He's alive.
I forgot about that joke. He's on a really gay vacation.
Yeah,
Checking out the movies.
yeah, definitely. So he's not participating this week. And I think he experienced some more injuries anyway. So we probably would have needed to give him a glass of warm milk anyway to calm him down. Um, but who's your S the B award winner this week?
So Antonio Gibson, because he was so hyped by the coaching staff, we're gonna start Antonio Gibson and blah blah blah. We're sitting Andre Stevenson stinks, and
Demonson.
he technically started the game, but you could quickly tell it was a ceremonial starting to punish Ramondre Stevenson for fumbling so much, and then he quickly faded into the background. I wasn't even personally affected by this in any way, but I felt for people who had like running
Yeah,
back injuries and they were scrambling and they threw Antonio Gibson in from the waiver wire with the hopes that he could, he's starting, and then nothing. So,
yeah.
so yeah. and maybe it's like Antonio Gibson slash like New England Patriots coaching for like
They're at it again.
doing that misdirection BS. But yeah, that really sucked for a lot of people this week.
Yeah. It's like they treated Antonio Gibson getting a start as like his make a wish. And and he was like, I really want to start in an NFL game. And they're like, okay. And then and then back to Ramondre.
Do you remember the My Wish segment on ESPN?
No.
They would
What's
play.
that?
They would play. It was like Make a Wish Foundation, but it was like sports version of it. And so it would be like a kid, whatever, sick, and I want to play
Party with
football.
Johnny Manziel for the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, and and but all I remember about it is they had this little song that went with it, and it was Rascal Flats did the song, and it would
My wish for
yeah,
you.
and I remember like when they would come in out of the commercial break, they didn't have time to play the whole song, and so they'd come out of the commercial break, and you would just hear "My Wish," and then it would start.
Man, I would have hated to be on that.
Yeah, like I don't think any of these kids wanted to. I would have been like, I want to be on, or I want the experience, but y'all can't record any of this because my friends are gonna see this, and like they're all gonna make fun of me. Like I bet that kid went to school, and when he walked into like third grade, everyone was like, "My wish."
Yeah, so that's Antonio Gibson basically. And I bet I bet he walked into the locker room and the Patriots, like all the players, the 53-man roster all sang that. Uh, but I got three of them here. I don't think you're dropping any of these guys, but you're feeling like you need to. Debo Samuel, 3 points. Chris Olave, primetime 3 points. George Pickens sucked, didn't do anything, and he even got called out by one of the defensive backs on Dallas. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Chris Olave, like, what a soft player. Like, I don't know, I just think he's soft. I don't think he's someone that you can depend on. He doesn't show up a clutch, gets outshined by Rashid Shaheed the terrorist. George Pickens, he's been coming up small for a while, and this is kind of his last prove it year before we put him like in a really, I don't know, just like everyone will avoid drafting him. He's the weakest, wide receiver one on a team I've ever seen. Um, but yeah, I don't know, just these guys like honestly, like you could probably get away with dropping them, but it would feel weird because you spent some good draft capital on them. But I mean, if you drop it and people give you a hard time for it, I don't think you're gonna miss them. But it takes real balls to do it, so depends. But that's where I'm at with those guys.
like like if you're in like a really crappy league where people don't pay attention, and Josh Downs is on your waiver wire, and you needed to drop Chris Olave for Josh Downs, would you do it?
See, that's where it gets into situation and like how strong are you, like in your positions, and what do you need? And I don't know. It depends on the league. I don't know. It.
I'd probably drop George Pickens for Josh Downs at this
I would
point.
drop. I would drop George Pickens would be the first one I would drop out of these three. Then
Yeah.
probably Debo. Then Chris Olave. Because Chris Olave has been a second. Like that's hard to let go of. I'm in a church league that a lot of the guys don't even know who the players are. So Tyreek Hill got dropped.
Oh,
And and anyway, Joe, who knows very much what he's doing, had the waiver one priority, so he got a free Tyreek Hill. He wouldn't have even seen it had our other friend not said anything. I saw it, put my waiver claim in quietly, didn't comment on anything, didn't mention anything to anyone. I had like the eighth waiver priority, so I knew I probably wasn't getting him, but if because sometimes people don't pay attention to who gets dropped. So I was hoping for a free Tyreek Hill that I can start cashing in on week 8. And
yeah.
anyway, yeah, gave up on their first round pick. Um, and then Jamison Williams got dropped. This is a 10-man league. It's not like some 6-man league. So
Yeah.
Jamison Williams got dropped, and I had like the 6th waiver priority. I quietly put in a waiver claim, and I got him.
Nice.
So I got a free Jamison Williams for the second time ever. So someone dropped Jamison Williams last year, and it was while he was suspended. You can put him in your IR spot.
Yeah.
So I picked him up. I had the number one waiver priority. I ended up flipping him for draft capital and a much needed running back in Dynasty. And anyway, I haven't looked back. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Just I don't know. Like if you're in leagues like that, it puts a whole new spin on things. Because if you're not the one benefiting from it and someone else is, it makes it so much harder to win a championship.
Oh, man. Makes me want to play like in a crappy league.
Yeah, join a church, join the league,
Just go to
just to
church.
join. Yeah, like
So,
I'm here for the fantasy football.
our next award is the McNug. So we have the 11th McNugget Award, Week 5 edition. Ba da ba ba ba. McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Oh, what does that say? Big what? Big.
It says save big with the app.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it was
I
something.
need to download the app.
People do the app. You order the food on the app. It's strange, but you're a
I'm a
drive-through.
McDonald's. What?
You're a drive-through window guy. I mean,
Yeah,
it would be weird
yeah.
not to talk to the person in the drive-through.
I know. Well, you can do the app and just present it through the drive-through. But I'm a McDonald's All-American. I should have the app, but I think I have like so sometimes whenever I've tried to download an app in the past and it didn't work out ideally for me, I delete it, and then it will come back into my life at another time. So McDonald's, uh, you know, I should have it, but I had it and I was ready to go, and then my local McDonald's wasn't a participating McDonald's of the
Mm.
app yet.
Oh,
So I deleted it because I'm like, that's the only McDonald's I go to. So anyway, that's
wow.
okay though. We'll pay full price, keep them in business.
So we're gonna rock and roll McDonald's right into our McNuggets.
Wesley Willis.
So who are your McNugs on this full box here?
I have four. So so these are the good surprises. Just like getting an 11th McNugget and a nice 10-piece. Um, and we got some throwback on here too. So Kareem Hunt wearing the wrong jersey. He's back with KC. He was an awesome pickup. I think he had 18 fantasy points, went over the century mark in rushing, very involved. Um, great job, Kareem Hunt. He helped me out. He did what Gibson was supposed to do: help people out in their time of need in a running back injury riddled season. So Kareem Hunt did his job, did great. He will remain in the starting lineup if you have hurt running back. Ramondre Stevenson didn't start the game, but boy did he finish it. So, the opposite of what Gibson did. I just love that, sticking it to the coaching staff and him kind of taking his job back. On the other end, Tank Bigsby took somebody's job.
Hey,
So that's kind of a messy situation, Tank Bigsby and Etienne. I don't think Tank Bigsby is a very good football player. Um, so I don't know. I think it's kind of a flash. I think it'll last a couple weeks and then go away. But for now, he's in the box. And then the guy who looks like somebody that you probably went to high school with is Tucker Kraft. And Tucker Kraft, man, what a pickup at tight end. Just like everyone who's a tight end has at least hit the bed once this year. And Tucker Kraft is really coming through. I think he scored a couple tutties. So those are my four McNugs, and I believe you have a nice looking man in the top left there. That's yours.
yes. So Joe Endless Sperm Flacco. Um, whoa, Weeman's here.
Don't you have a hurricane to beat too?
We did it. He's
He
not
did
sitting
it.
through hurricane.
Live from
Dang.
Hurricane Central here in Orlando, Florida. I'm here. We finna
Yeah.
get wet.
He ain't worried about anything.
Let's
Wow.
leave that up.
That's what'll get you through a hurricane is fifth quarter fantasy cast. It keeps you feeling good. And Joe Flacco, he keeps you feeling good, and he'll keep you feeling good until he's 80, I guess. Like he's
Yeah.
ageless. I put him in the McNug box because it wasn't just who a lot of meanings from those emojis, but we know it means hurricane and water. So
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I was impressed that it wasn't just a one game wonder. He did it again, and just like with Cleveland last year, he probably pulled it off for maybe 4 or 5 games in a row before he kind of came back down to earth. Like we saw Andy Dalton come back down to earth. So Joe's not your guy for the rest of the season, but he can be your guy in certain spots. I was really proud of myself because Sunday at like 11:55, I'm pretty sure I dropped Geno Smith, put in Joe
Oh.
Flacco, also dropped someone else and threw in Cam Akers and like just made a lot of good last second decisions on Sunday. One of those was like Flacco and Pittman.
Shit,
So
man.
that was a good move, and I was proud of
Yeah.
myself for like going with the gut 5 minutes before kickoff. I was just feeling it.
I like that. Oh, we skipped Hillshire. We have some boys we're worried about, don't we?
Yeah. So my Hillshire Farms is Sam Darnold this week. The Jets really just shut down everything for them, and I think it was just a one-time thing. I mean, the London game is always weird on everybody. And so I think Minnesota's still rolling, but it was disappointing this week because Darnold has been so good. So it does suck for that
Yeah. Um,
to happen. We're getting
we have a
raw.
comment. Big time splooge fest headed for West Florida tomorrow, but we'll be okay, I think. Really rooting for Titans this season. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Go Rams. Awesome. So, um, we will give the spotlight to Weeman. He deserves it.
Every single.
Um, my concern players are some very big names. Just wanted to go on a little tangent. So, if you had a first half of the first round pick, you're probably going to have a bad time. So, pizza, French fries. We've got Bijan Robinson, Brees Hall, Tyreek Hill, C.D. Lamb, CMC. All those guys, you're concerned. C.D. Lamb, C.D.'s nuts. He's not playing like a first round pick. He's playing like some guy you get in the third round to be pretty okay with what he's doing. Brees Hall, what the hell? Like that was bad. Bijan Robinson, I'm starting to think he might be cursed, like Kyle Pitts. I think they said they were going to use him, and I'm not sure if maybe he was overhyped as the generational back or what. I'm hoping that we're wrong there. And then Tyreek Hill, not quarterback proof. Um, not that dynamic player we've known to love over the years. But and CMC hasn't even taken a snap yet. Who knows if he even will? But if you had a back half draft pick, you ended up with Justin Jefferson, who you're very happy with. His floor games are 15. Jamar Chase, because you're worried about him holding out and everything. He's blowing up like a first rounder. Your Garrett Wilson, who he's had some up and down weeks, but last week was awesome. Uh, AJ Brown hurt. So like it's I don't know. I think you have more success on the back end. Jameer Gibbs at that 1-2 turn. You got some better odds back there. So I don't know. That's how I see it. So definitely some concern there. It's not so much you're benching or dropping these guys, but they're not performing like first round picks. In fact, they have ED, PE, the whole thing in the bedroom, and they might even S the B by the end of the year.
Every set of letters you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely some concerns there. Prayers up.
So tell the people about our new award that we're giving
Um, well, first of all, Tyreek Hill is the first wide receiver to get in the number one spot in the top 100 14-year history. Thank you.
out.
Great reporting from Taylor Wiseman. So
Well, he is like on site with Tyreek Hill. He's
he
right there.
is.
So
Yeah, they're both in that hurricane zone, so
they
that's
live in the same
exciting.
neighborhood.
Um, so we do have a new award, and before I show the graphic, and it is graphic, so this is sponsored by Weights for Men from the city of Smyrna, employees, gymnasium, and Weights for Men. This is the Weights for Men Flex of the Week. These are just guys. You have them. You're flexing on everybody. You're excited. You're ripping your shirt off and just acting buck wild and who knows what. So this is the Weights for Men Flex of the Week.
Yeah.
So we have a few men here. Just if you have them, you're bragging on them. And who's your little fellow over there?
My little guy is Brock the Cock Bowers. So he uh, he showed up big this week, big and plump and juicy this week, and you couldn't stop him. And that was with like nothing. Like the Raiders have nothing, like nothing at all. And so Brock's their only thing going, and he's been a great tight end this year. He's been consistently getting you like 6 to 8 points, and then having those like peak games where he's like 10, 12. And so I think the future's bright for this young man, and he's doing it with like no supporting cast at all. So it's just nice because the expectations were high, and he's living up to those expectations.
Nice. Yeah, hard to find a good tight end nowadays, so you got to go to the gym. Um, yeah, we got Drake the Snake London, London pants falling down, over here. And what I love about him, I was against Skittles this week in two dynasty leagues. You know how dangerous that is. That man goes to the altar. He prays for injury against his opponents, and it happens every week. R.I.P. Rasheed Rice on Mr. Bennett's team. Um, but anyway, I had a couple of league mates come with me to church. We triple prayed the counter prayer that we knew Skittles was praying. And I bet whenever he goes up to the altar and the prayer group sees him, they're just like, "Oh, fuck this guy again." Like, do you want to, maybe change it up and not do this? And he's like, "Nope, let me give you my list of names." And anyway, so he went to a midweek service and he definitely prayed against Drake London. And so after 12 points, Drake London, huge hit to the head, goes into concussion protocol, and I'm like, all right, he's done it again. I'm gonna lose to this guy, and it's all gonna start here with Drake London getting injured, and then like Lazarus, Drake London raised from the dead. He has risen indeed, and he scored like 35 fantasy points. So I even and Skills was talking mad shit all week, and we weren't having it. I didn't say anything back, but at the end, I ended up winning 181 to like 90 something, and he put his
Yeah.
whole team on the trade block and was getting rid of guys and entered rebuild right then and there. And that's when you know you're not ready to contend and you met a real contender. So stop praying for injury against other players and good luck rebuilding your team over the next 10 years.
What a message! You're sending a message.
Yeah, it was a message win. Message win. So, and then a guy that I think that all three of us are into. This nice juicy man in the middle, Brian Thomas Jr. Mm. Um, man, yeah, we just haven't had a chance to talk to him because I don't think any of us are surprised enough to put him in the Nuggets box. So, but we got to talk about him. Peepaw brought that up today in our group message, and so we were like, he would be a great to center this new award around. And yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. I have him on my God squad for a reason. he's been bringing it every week. He's become someone that has become a dependable starter, and so very excited about BTJ moving forward. Honorable mention, Jamison Williams kind of turning that corner this year too. I think he could have been on here in earlier weeks if we would have started it. How you feel about BTJ rest of season?
I love BTJ the rest of the season. He's showing off multiple skill sets, which is rare. You see, he can put up an 8 for 96 in a touch stat line, but he can also put up like a 2 for 85 and two touches stat line. Like, he's
Right.
like the deep threat, but he also can be the possession receiver. And it's also in an offense that up until last week has really been struggling, and he's the only bright spot on the team right now. His quarterback's been struggling, and so he's doing this without a huge supporting cast. He's showing off a lot of range with his skills. So yeah, living up to expectations. Hasn't gotten injured. Hopefully Skittles keeps him out of his prayers and he stays uninjured. Because when you think about it, if Malik Neighbors stays off the field or is on and off the field all year long, we could be talking about BTJ as the best rookie receiver this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's exceeded a lot of the hype. I put him on the God Squad as kind of a little bit of a dart throw, but I had a feeling. And anyway, it's but yeah, I mean you gotta stand behind that God Squad. So I think Drake London was on someone. It was yours or Peepaw's or almost all three of ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, exciting stuff. So that is the Weights for Men flex of the week.
So,
And those are the awards.
before we go into preview, we're going to talk about, or we have someone on the show to talk about a sponsorship opportunity. So, yeah. So
It
Pecos
looks just like her.
they're like the same lady. So Mary's here with a very important message.
All right, all right. Is this thing on? Okay. Hey, everybody. This is Mary Betty. I'm here in the middle of cold, flu, and COVID-19 season to remind you to keep it to 6 feet. That's right. When you're in bed with your husband, 6 feet. When you're at the bank, keep it to 6 feet. And most especially, when you're at the Giant Eagle, keep your distance to 6 feet.
All right. Thanks, Mary. And
Thanks, Mary.
I like the Mary Betty action figure. The
Yeah, yeah.
exclusive Mary Betty action figure. That's available in the Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast store on fifthquarterfantasy.com. So
Yeah.
head on over there and order up Mary Betty action figure before they're all sold out. Christmas is coming.
Nice and strong, complete with a thing of books. And you can also find it in the Jacqueline Kent collection called Carolers, if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, a few people are. I bet a lot of listeners of our podcast are into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I fuck with trinkets. I like them. I'm trying to trying to build up my collection, but I only have the one. So
So, without Peepaw, we do not have all the awesome stats that go along with the Week 6 preview. You're just going to get our words from our mouths about it. So,
and we also have waivers.
oh, that's right. Without
We're
Peepaw,
so disorganized.
we also skip sections without Peepaw. So,
Yeah, yeah.
we've become very dependent on his guidance throughout
Yeah,
the show.
no, we were on this last year when it was just us, and then we added Peepaw, and then we didn't realize how much he takes care of for us. So yeah, we have waivers, and on Saturdays we have ice cream. Um, so waiver ads. Did you even do waiver ads, or you got any?
I just have a few off the top of my head. Like, we saw Kirk Cousins have that big game. So just make sure he's picked up. He could be a nice stash. You may not play him every week, but Now that we've seen maybe some things clicking there, he might become your starting quarterback, depending on. I mean, if I had Kirk Cousins in a good matchup, I might play him over Jalen Hurts, who's been really struggling um, week to week, just kind of playing that out. So making sure he's picked up. Alec Pierce, he's a good ad. I think he's available in a lot of leagues, and he's with Joe Flacco at least. He's like becoming the Rashid Shaheed of that offense, the old Rashid Shaheed of that offense, where it's just like run to the end of the
Yep.
field, I will throw it to
Run a
you.
go.
So you love having those guys on your team. And then I always struggle with the name, but Dare Unkumbalo away.
Yeah.
I feel like I swallowed some gum right in the middle of saying his last name.
Yeah. Dare. Oh,
It's,
swallowed some gum.
he's definitely been more effective than Cam Akers. They seem to trust him more than Cam Akers. Cam Akers gets in the end zone, but that may not be lasting for long. And I think Joe Mixon is going to be in and out of injury the rest of the season. I just don't like the way it looks for
Yeah.
him.
It's the longest sprained ankle I've ever seen. It's like the most extreme sprained ankle you've ever heard of. Um yeah, I got Dare on my list. Um and this one feels gross, but if you watched the game last night, Doo Fitz Poopster. Make sure you
Whoa.
pick him up. 130 yards, very involved in the offense. I think he scored 20 fantasy points. He had like 7 catches. They don't have another receiver. It, I mean, Xavier Worthy's kind of. I think he might be kind of gimmicky, really. So I know Doo Fitz Poopster. They've, depended on him in the past. They think he's the shit. So, um, definitely, I think worth a waiver ad. I don't know many people who are hurting at receiver, but if you're someone who's sustained injuries to Cooper Cup, Rasheed Rice, Puka Nakua, like AJ Brown in and out, like just all over the place, like maybe you do have a need there, or if you're in a really deep league. And then Geno Smith, you had mentioned dropping him. I think he's kind of a fantasy slut. He gets dropped and picked up on other teams, and but he is QB5 right now, which feels weird to say. Um, so, if you want the QB5, pick up Geno. I know I've been playing the carousel in a couple leagues, so I might pick him up somewhere. And then a guy that I think we really need to talk about, and it's the quietest 129 rushing yards you'll ever see. Tyrone Tracy. Nobody's talking about him. He's on the Giants. I mean, we don't believe in Devin Singletary. I mean, there's nothing special about him. I think Tyrone Tracy might have carved himself out a little bit of a role here, at least for whenever Singletary gets back. And if Singletary misses more time, Tyrone Tracy could be Mr. Steal Your Job. So I know he was a rookie that we were a little excited about. Didn't highly hype him up or anything, but there was definitely that path there. And he's taken his opportunity and ran with it to the tune of 129 yards.
Not bad. Not bad for a day at the office.
Yeah,
And the
not a bad
Giants
first day.
overall, like it's like the Giants are playing some pretty good football. People who drop Daniel Jones are like, oh, maybe I'll rethink Daniel Jones. The receiving core, a lot of the receiving core, uh, is being picked up, and so yeah, it's almost like the Giants are a team to be interested in. So yeah, good stuff
If you're into that sort of thing.
if you are. So we got our 4 matchups that we're going to talk about. Tried to pick some good ones. So the first one is Washington at Baltimore. Two teams who are looking pretty good. Washington, I mean, they're both explosive. Baltimore will just be whatever they need to be. Like Baltimore will be a run-heavy team if they need to be that day. They can throw the ball over the field. Lamar Jackson can go nuts if he needs to go nuts. And then Washington, it's kind of the same way, but maybe a little bit more explosive, just because it seems like Jaden Daniels can really check it. He's got good receivers, so I think this could be a pretty fun one. Do you see which Baltimore do you see coming out of this matchup? Do you see the Derrick Henry dominate Baltimore, or do you see the Baltimore versus Cincy kind of style coming?
Um, I hope it's the one against Cincy because that's more built for fantasy. And even then, Derrick Henry had like 92 yards or something. Not a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for that one. Your boy Isaiah Likely had 2 touchdowns. Are you still starting that guy?
Nah.
No. He broke
He's so
your trust.
scary. He doesn't like because then they got that other stupid tight end involved this week. He had like 1 or 2
Oh yeah,
touchdowns.
that guy. I
Uh,
bet he was on the thick of this segment on Sirius
so like
XM.
Baltimore has like 3 tight ends right now. Like and it's like let go of Mark Andrews, just let him go and whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
Likely is until they sort that out, I can't start Likely because he'll get you a 0 or he'll get you 20 points. And like, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess if I had a matchup that I needed big from everybody, then I guess I would start Likely over like Pat Fryerman, who's going to get you 7. Like, put
Yeah.
it down. It, 7 points, it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean yeah, Washington, I don't know, I wish I had at least a share of Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry's looked good. Um but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope it's a shootout. I see Baltimore just coming in and playing their game with whichever one that might be. But very excited about Washington and what they're doing. I just don't think it's I don't know, I think it's kind of in like that fairy tale phase right now and they're gonna kind of meet a real team and it'll be Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah, I see that happen. I see Baltimore maybe flexing this week, maybe putting a
Yeah.
weights from flex on.
Yeah. Waits for men.
So the next one is the divisional matchup: Bucks at Saints. Um, Always good when these two come together. Bucks are rolling, looking pretty good fantasy wise. The whole Bucky Irvin split with Rashad, and then also looks like no Derek Carr for a little bit. He's always gets hurt. What does this mean? Do they start Spencer Rattler? Do they start
Yeah.
um, who is their backup?
I think it's Spencer Rattler. Well, I'm excited about that. Like I think he's extremely reckless, but I know he likes to air it out. So good for us.
Yeah, see, I don't know
Uh,
his game like that. So you feel good about Saints receivers. You feel better about Saints receivers, no Derek Carr?
I do because Derek Hart he kind of hasn't had an arm lately. So it's because like isn't the oblique like here or something or
Yeah, it's like along the sides. So,
yeah that
you-
hurts right.
well, yeah, anything in that midsection, you're generating your power from there. So,
Yeah, we keep having one viewer and then it goes away. Um, But yeah, I mean, like that's probably not good for Derek Carr. I'm sure it was holding him back a little bit. Rattler, he's a gunslinger. He's mighty risky, but like you know, don't start Rattler. But like I'd feel a little more confident in the receivers. Um, that's like probably the only thing holding on to like why I might have to start Chris Olave one more time
yeah.
and see how he does. And then they have another quarterback who had like a really uh how you say it gay photo shoot. He had have you seen that the other rookie quarterback?
No.
He like his pictures like just look very like just the angles or something and very feminine. It was awesome. It felt like you know how Jimmy Butler likes to troll media day. It kind of felt like that, but in like kind of a natural way. So I don't think he's starting over Spencer Rattler. I don't know if he can lead men on the field. So anyway, we'll see. I like that for the Saints though. Um, who did you say they were playing?
They're playing the Bucks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we'll probably see a fight between Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans. So be make sure hopefully Mike Evans scores some fantasy points before he gets ejected and suspended and all that, because that's probably going to happen. I think the Bucks will be looking to bounce back though. Maybe Baker the baby maker starts spreading his seed around to everybody, and I think we all like to see that, and that's something that we'll watch.
So yeah, that should be a good one. And yeah, I would still keep Rashid Shaheed in and Chris Olave and um, Kamara had a rough day yesterday, last night. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't what we hoped for with him. So
Yeah.
we got Detroit at Dallas. So these teams
Yeah.
these two usually have a nice game, nice matchup together. Um, Detroit has been up and down with their explosiveness. You can tell they want to run the ball more this year and not so much air it out as much. But maybe Dallas forces them to throw it around because the Cowboys like to throw it around. And so things are weird in Dallas right now. Jalen Tolbert is a thing, like scoring more points than CeeDee Lamb. It's weird. There's, Rico Dowdle is interesting, I guess, if you took a chance on him. So what are you looking for in this
I think it's gonna be fun. I think we'll see the good Dallas, but because they have to keep up. So I think hopefully a shootout with Detroit really pulling away. Um, let's see. I mean, you got Uncle Rico. He can throw it a quarter mile, but he's a running back, so you got to take that into account. You got superstar Jalen Tolbert getting the ball now. Maybe it's I don't know, and that Detroit defense is pretty good. So I don't know. I'm hoping for the shootout. Obviously I'm a Jameer Gibbs lover, but I'm also against him. I'm in so many leagues, but I'm against him with Superfan Matt. So the curse needs to be broken. So I'm gonna be rooting against Gibbs. I don't care that I have him somewhere else. So um, got to get to 1-5 in that league. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely feels like it's set up to be a good game. I don't know. I think Dallas has just been up and down this year, a little more down than up, but I think this will be an upper. But in real life, they're gonna lose. But I just hope they just keep wanting to score points, points, points.
matchup? So the last one
Touchdown.
is Buffalo at the New York Jets. And so we got the news today of the Jets head coach being fired. So anytime there's a new head coach, that first game with the new head coach is always kind of an interesting game because the team kind of gets hyped for the new coach.
Yeah.
But then we also see the coach's preferences. Is the coach just going to be like, Braylon Allen, sit over there and don't get up? We're going to feed the ball to Brees. And Rodgers, does he play better? I mean, I think Rodgers hated Robert Sala. We saw the whole weird, like, hey, I want to hug you, and no, get off me thing. So just like clearing up that bad blood, make the Jets a better team overall. And then Buffalo, Josh Allen got beat up this past week.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure he was concussed. They like didn't follow the concussion rules properly, and he was out there concussed. So Buffalo's not looking good, and if Josh Allen isn't 100%, they're really not looking good. So yeah, a lot of things to kind of think about when you're planning for this game this week.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it, but I heard that he looked real wobbly, like he had a nice PBR. And if you like Pat's Blue Ribbon, they are celebrating their 180th year anniversary. So happy anniversary to PBR. Um, but no, I'm thinking it's a bounce back game as long as Josh Allen's healthy. We know he's not in any sort of concussion protocol because they think he's just fine. So, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking it's a bounce back game for both. I think that the Jets are going to rally around, and apparently the guy who took over is like the good guy, and everyone likes him. I heard that Robert Sala who was it? Superfan Matt was telling me about it. Apparently, he demoted Nathaniel Hackett, which I don't blame him there. But the guy he put in charge of like play calling and things like that was oh shoot, it was Todd Downing. And 5 minutes later, he got fired for putting him
Oh,
in charge. And it's like, well, you remember Todd Downing, his offense with the Titans: run,
oh,
run, incomplete pass, punt, and that's how we played for years. And he was a horrible play caller. Oh, Superfan Matt tuning in, by the way.
nice.
Rodgers is a problem,
Not a
possibly.
Rodgers guy.
Not a Rodgers guy. I'm a vote for him though. Um, so I mean, obviously it's late in the show, and sometimes you just gotta take a gamble on things. And if you like gambling, Underdog Fantasy, you can use our code, fifth quarter fantasy, and Underdog will match your deposit up to $100. And we also get $25, which I tried to gamble it away last time someone used that code, but it wasn't available in my state for the college games I was trying to bet on. And I was going to go heavy on Tennessee and Alabama, and I'm glad it didn't go through because I would have wasted our 25. But yeah, make sure you get us some extra money and get your money matched, and bet the mortgage.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins in this
Sure.
situation.
Everybody wins. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you think Devontae Adams is going there, or like, do you think we're gonna get some juice for the Jets, or what? Some jet fuel?
Man, it sounds like the Steelers are the closest to Devontae Adams happening currently.
Ugh,
Yeah, so, but I mean, if you're him, don't you want to go win a Super Bowl somewhere? And
probably.
I don't think the Jets or Steelers are where you go to win a Super Bowl.
No, that sounds terrible.
So,
He could go to the Saints, but
yeah,
Derek Carr's not even playing right now.
but the Jets aren't out of it. So I think if the Jets could put together a little bit of something, um, then maybe the Jets become a more interesting landing spot for him.
Yeah. Oh, now that Matt's here, here's what you missed. Um, so, well, before we have that moment of silence, we got a new award, Waits for Men, Flex of the Week, and we have Mr. BTJ on there. We have Drake London and Brock the Cock Bowers, and they are shirtless and ready to show off, and we are so proud of them. But, but yeah, Rasheed Rice recently passed away for the season. So I think it's only right that we let's take 4 seconds to remember him in honor of his jersey number, starting now. We love you, Rasheed.
You gotta rest up,
Yeah,
bud. Good
yep,
look out.
good stuff. He's a good human being. If he crashes into you, he'll definitely go back and check on you.
Okay, so that's the Week 5 recap, Week 6 preview in the books. Book it. We'll see you next week, and don't forget to live, laugh, love, like, and subscribe. Fifth Quarter Fantasy.
Space we leave between us.